Hello, Canopy MLS members. Thank you for joining me today to learn how to stay out of the compliance violation zone. Today's topic is, when is a listing required to be submitted to Canopy MLS? All listings taken by member participants are subject to the Canopy MLS rules and regulations. Listings are mandatory for submission to Canopy MLS under the following circumstances. The listing is subject to either an exclusive right to sell or exclusive agency listing agreement. The listing is located within the Canopy MLS service area. The property type is either residential, multi-unit, 4 units or less, or lots, acres, farms. Canopy MLS also accepts other property types such as commercial listings for sale or lease and residential rental listings, but those are not mandatory for submission. New construction becomes mandatory for submission when the certificate of occupancy is issued, if it is not already under contract. What is the Canopy MLS service area? The Canopy MLS bylaws define our service area as any area or portion of an area in which a member participant or subscriber may be able to effectively deliver service to a potential client or customer. In other words, if you are a member of Canopy MLS, then any property you have listed in North Carolina or South Carolina should be submitted to Canopy MLS. Canopy MLS requires listings that are mandatory for submission to be submitted after obtaining the seller's signatures on the listing agreement and within 1 business day of the effective date, or if applicable, the marketing date, as it is known in North Carolina, or the beginning date of the term of the listing for South Carolina. MLS rules prohibit the property from being previewed or shown by the seller or any real estate agent, including firms' agents, prior to the marketing date in North Carolina or the beginning of the term of the listing in South Carolina. The Clear Cooperation Policy was adopted by the National Association of Realtors Board of Directors in November 2019 with a May 1, 2020 deadline for all MLSs to implement the policy. The Clear Cooperation Policy may also determine when a listing is required to be submitted to the MLS. Within 1 business day of marketing the property to the public, the listing broker must submit the listing to the MLS for cooperation with other MLS participants. Public marketing includes, but is not limited to, flyers displayed in windows, yard signs, digital marketing on public-facing websites, brokerage website displays including IDX and VOW sites, digital communications marketing such as email blasts, multi-brokerage listing sharing networks, and applications available to the general public. The Clear Cooperation Policy does not prohibit firm-exclusive listings, which are also known as exempt listings, office-exclusive, broker-exclusive, and the list goes on. Canopy MLS refers to them as firm-exclusive listings. If the seller refuses to permit their listing to be disseminated by Canopy MLS, the listing brokerage may then take the listing as a firm exclusive. These sellers must sign the Canopy MLS exclusive agreement form indicating that the seller, the listing brokerage, or any other entity cannot publicly market the listing in any way. Firm exclusive listings must be registered with Canopy MLS within 2 business days from the effective date of the listing agreement, but the firm exclusive listing is not disseminated to other participants of Canopy MLS. How is public marketing defined? Can I advertise that I have a listing coming up in a certain neighborhood as long as I don't provide a specific address? There is no requirement that an address has to be shared for a social media post or in some other format to be classified as public marketing. Excluding the address from public marketing does not exempt the listing agent from complying with a Clear Cooperation Policy. Posting, "I've got a listing coming up in Harper Valley," is considered public marketing, and the listing would be required to be submitted to the MLS within 1 business day. Likewise, posting just the photos with no identifiable address is public marketing, and the listing would be required to be submitted to the MLS within 1 business day. Public marketing includes posting a firm exclusive listing on social media, even in a private group. Creating a property specific web page that is accessible to the general public is public marketing. After clear cooperation policy was implemented, the listing agreements in both North Carolina and South Carolina were updated. Both agreements establish in all cases when marketing will begin, which may be the effective date, the date the agreement is signed by both parties, or a later date, the marketing date in North Carolina, or beginning of the term of the listing in South Carolina. A seller and the listing brokerage are then required to select either public marketing or office exclusive. Only one option may be selected. If office exclusive is selected and public marketing will take place at a later date, it will be necessary to amend the listing agreement. Why is completing the marketing paragraph of the listing agreement the way it is designed to be used so important? Selecting only one option, either public marketing or office exclusive, makes it clear to the seller whether the listing will be fully marketed or receive limited marketing exposure. It is in the best interest of most sellers to get the highest possible price on the best possible terms for their property, and maximizing exposure of their property advances that interest. Accepting an offer on the property before it is fully exposed to the widest group of potential buyers may deny the seller the best opportunity to attract offers at the highest price and the best terms. In addition, the Canopy MLS firm exclusive agreement must also be signed by the seller, and the firm exclusive must be registered with Canopy MLS. Remember, a listing that is mandatory for submission can only be left out of the MLS only if you have a firm exclusive agreement. To register the firm exclusive, the seller must complete the Canopy MLS firm exclusive agreement. Then, the list agent will register the firm exclusive agreement with Canopy MLS within 2 business days from the effective date of the listing agreement. To access the online firm exclusive registration, log into Matrix, select Resources on the top right, select Canopy MLS Forms, and then select the Listing Maintenance Forms tab. Next, select Firm Exclusive Registration link. Only Canopy MLS staff, the listing agent, the member participant of the listing office, and if applicable, his or her administrative employee registering the listing can see the firm exclusive that was registered.
Hello, I'm Charisma Southerland, your 2025 president. If you missed the news about how Canopy MLS is working to expand seller listing options and help you better meet the needs of clients, I'm here to review the recent policy and system changes approved by the Canopy MLS Board of Directors. The updates and options being implemented are the result of your feedback and are not in response to the National Association of Realtors announcing its MLS policy change. Canopy MLS has implemented an immediate update to the Clear Cooperation Policy and to its firm exclusive agreement, which is the form used to register firm exclusive listings with Canopy MLS. Later this year, Canopy MLS will implement a modification to the coming soon no-show status, and early next year will launch a new limited exposure listing option. Let's review the 2 immediate policy updates that give you more flexibility to meet your client's needs. Number 1, the submission requirement for the Clear Cooperation Policy remains at a 1 business day. However, Canopy MLS has adopted the new NAR interpretation that one-to-one agent-to-agent communication about listings does not trigger CCP. Number 2, the Canopy MLS registration form for firm exclusive listings called the Firm Exclusive Agreement was updated to explain that agents and brokers within the listing brokerage firm may share listings directly with their clients and with customers through private, one-to-one, agent-to-agent relationship communications. However, multi-brokerage communications about the listing does constitute public marketing under CCP, requiring the listings to be input into the MLS within 1 business day. Should you have any questions, please email compliance@canopyrealforce.com.
Canopy MLS has provided additional information about the Clear Cooperation Policy update in the following slides. What stays the same? Within 1 business day of publicly marketing a property, the listing must be submitted to the MLS. Public marketing includes yard signs, flyers, websites including IDX/VOW, digital messaging, email blasts, multi-brokerage listing sharing networks, and applications available to the general public. Compliance staff will continue enforcing CCP when non-MLS listings are publicly marketed. What's new? The interpretation allows more flexibility when communicating with agents from different brokerages about firm-exclusive listings, including ability to share information about a firm exclusive with another agent from another brokerage if their buyer hears about it by word of mouth. At the seller's request, privately soliciting an offer from a buyer through private, one-to-one communications before the property is entered into MLS. The listing agent, together with the owner or seller, determines the availability of access to show or inspect a firm-exclusive listing. Important notes about private one-to-one, agent-to-agent communications. Private, one-to-one communication between agents is permitted, but non-private, multi-brokerage communication still triggers CCP. Compliance staff cannot investigate digital messaging systems, but obvious group communications may result in a violation. Why this matters? The policy still protects what CCP was designed to do: limit off-market and pocket listings, promote fairness and non-discrimination in housing, support cooperation that benefits both consumers and agents. Fines remain in place: $100 for not registering a firm-exclusive listing within 2 business days. $500 for publicly marketing a listing that isn't in the MLS within 1 business day. Questions? Contact compliance@canopyrealtors.com.